Hello, I've had a request on number 18 on section 6.6. This is not number 18, like I think we're used to that by now, but this is very similar to that. But it has logarithms on one side and a number on the other side. So if you're in the class, I gave you like three scenarios, and one of the scenarios was multiple logs and equaling multiple logs. Well, this is not one of those because there's no multiple logs on that side. So the second scenario was multiple logs on one side and a number on the other side, and so that would be this category right here. So what you do in this situation is you take the multiple logs and you rewrite it as a single logarithm. So when you have the log plus a log, the product rule is applied right there. So this is the log base 8 of the product x times x minus 30 equals 2. So it's the product rule. Then, when you got one side as a single logarithm, a lot of people will just try to just drop off the logs here because that's what you did in the first category when you got logs on one side and logs on the other side. The problem with that is there is no logs on this side to drop off. Of course, that doesn't phase a lot of people. A lot of people will just drop this off anyway, then they just mess it up right then and there. So what you have to do is logs on one side and a number on the other side is you have to rewrite. When you rewrite this in exponential form. And if you do that, you get rid of the logs at the same time. So this becomes 8's the base, and the input is 2, so it's 8 squared because the output of the log is 2. That makes the input over here 2. And the output of this exponential is the input of the log, which is this expression right here. And at first glance, it looks pretty bad. And, it's not going to be easy. So, but it is quadratic, I believe. So because this is x squared minus 30x distributing the x, and this becomes 64. And then when you move the 64 to this side, it becomes just a quadratic equation. Now, I made this problem up, so I'm hoping it will factor. So, and I think it does. It's x minus 32 times x plus 2 equals 0. Minus 32x plus 2x is a minus 30x. So if you solve that equation, x equals 32 and x equals negative 2. Now, there was a fourth part on this one. A lot of people get so excited they get nice numbers at this point and they just jump to the next problem. And they'll lose a point because one of these numbers may not work. And I believe it's the negative 2. And it's not because negative 2 is negative. Because some people just say, oh, it's negative, so I discard it. Okay, it doesn't work because when you plug negative 2 back in, you end up taking the log of negative 2, and that's the problem. Not just because the number is negative down here, because we've had some problems in our class that the answer was negative, and when you put it back in, the expression made it turn into be a positive number, and it was okay then. So you have to be careful there. So negative 2 doesn't work because when you plug it back in, you end up having a domain error. So you discard the negative 2, and I think the 32 is fine. You can take the log of 32 with no problems, and then 32 minus 30 is 2, and that's not a problem. So 32 is the solution to this particular problem. And this is problem number 18, section 6.6, and that's it.